Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, coming to you from my backyard because it's such a nice evening, and these are not going to be very many more of these because summertime's right around the corner. We're doing The Darkest Hour, the 2019, 18, 17 film starring Gary Oldman.
It's recent.
Yeah, it's recent. I keep trying to make it further back, but it's not. But yeah, Gary Oldman did win the Academy Award for this film. I had always thought that Dario Marianelli had gotten an Academy Award nomination. He did not. That was my mistake. Shape of Water by Alexander Desplat won that year. The other nominees were Dunkirk. Don't know why. The Phantom Thread. Not really sure why. The Last Jedi. Yeah, okay. And the only time I'll say that about a John Williams score. And Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which was quite a charming score. I would have gone between that or The Shape of Water with my vote if I had a vote, and if Darkest Hour had not been nominated. I think that was probably the best film score that year. But that's just my opinion. I'm just a guy in a velvet dinner jacket in his backyard talking to a camera. How are you, H. Boomer?
I'm fine. I didn't see Three Billboards. That's the one on the list that actually I heard was interesting. I need to watch that one. I still haven't seen Dunkirk yet, and I don't know why I haven't gotten around to watching that one yet. I sound like you weren't that impressed with the score, though.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I kind of enjoyed the film. If it had not been edited in such a Christopher Nolan way, I probably would have liked it a lot more.
I know that Dunkirk happens in this movie, correct?
It does.
Yes,
Off
so
screen.
You're seeing it off screen, so you're seeing it from Churchill's perspective, I guess. Okay, all right.
Correct. And honestly, if they would just like edit the two films together, I think that would be really good.
Yeah. But no, for some reason I didn't get around to watching Dunkirk. I even own it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. I tend to like Christopher Nolan movies. I know that he can be divisive. Some people don't like his stuff, but I loved Interstellar when that came out. That was
I loved Interstellar too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I just don't think you need to chop up the story of Dunkirk and tell it kind of out of order, and then wait till the end where it all catches up. I didn't care for that. But it really spiked the prices on infields, and I collect infields, but once Dunkirk came out, it got a little bit more difficult to do that. Because everybody wanted one.
Oh, I see. Because it's a classic weapon, I guess. All right, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if we should do something for Memorial Day. What do you think? Like 1917, or maybe Private Ryan, or some more movie? I don't know. Think about it.
1917.
Yeah.
Listening In just did a video on Thomas Newman's score for 1917. And initially, I listened to it. I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Maybe it wasn't the right day for me to listen to it. So I've ordered it on LP. Should be here next week. I'm going to sit down and actually listen to it.
Yeah, what do you think about it? It doesn't have to be that one, but maybe we should do a war movie for Memorial Day, maybe coming up. I don't know. You think about it. I mean, it could be any war movie, but yeah. It could be
like 300. That's a war movie.
Oh, man. Come on, man. I'm talking modern history.
I understand.
300.
Well, let's welcome the chat, everyone. We have Melissa Harris as always. Thank you for coming. Big Al presents Jedi Masters Utopia. How are you, sir? And Wolf 10 Media is in the house.
Howdy.
Howdy, Wolf 10.
Big Al.
I see you, Wolf 10. I said thank you for showing up. So, shall we start the film before my phone battery starts to die?
Might as well. We're watching Darkest Hour for anyone who wants to follow us along. Me and Jake are here. We'll say hi to Jake for us, okay? But, oh, wait a minute. My movie's already started. What's going on here?
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Well, I can press play.
No, don't do anything. Hold on.
Okay.
Why do I do this to myself? Okay. What?
And just so everyone in YouTube land knows, next Friday is someone's birthday.
Stop it. I might be taking that's why I told Troy I may not be able to do a stream with him next Friday. I'm just saying. Okay. Or, of course, it could be a boomer birthday stream. I don't know. Anyway, hold on. Resume movie. Thank you.
I'm at the 0 hour, 0 minutes.
I'm supposed to be at the 0. Are you at the focus features thing yet? Is this before the focus features things pops up? Okay. All right. I'm going to back up and I'm going to go to the 0 mark again myself. Okay.
I just had focus features pop up.
Okay. Wait. Why don't we just restart and we'll do the 3, 2, 1 or the 1, 2, 3.
Okay. I'm at 0, 0.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, go.
Thank you. I'm telling you, you think I don't know why I have so much trouble with the Blu-ray. Maybe it's my sitting angle to the player. I don't know. So we got focus feature. You like focus features?
They're pretty artsy, yeah.
I'm trying to think what I saw by them. Did they do that one with ScarJo and Bill Murray in Japan back in the day? I forgot what the name of it was. Is that
what you're thinking about?
Lost in Translation, yeah.
Yeah. I think so, but don't quote me on that.
So we get some old footage here. This is the big old German war machine, right?
It is. And like I said, this won the Academy Award for Gary Oldman for Best Actor and Best Makeup because of Gary Oldman. It was nominated Best Picture, Production Design, Costume Design, and Cinematography, but it lost out on those.
Gotcha.
It did get Best Original Score at the British Academy of Film and Television.
Oh, okay. Well. Was it up against Dunkirk for that too?
I'm not sure. I don't see why that score got all the praise that it got.
I don't know. Who did that? Hans Zimmer?
Hans Zimmer.
Okay. So is this the British Parliament?
Yeah.
Anyway, this must have been pretty scary times. I mean, we look back on it, we know the outcome, but I'm sure while this was going on, it looked like they could be staring at their own demise, right? Demise of their civilization. Oh, they're talking about Chamberlain. Or Chamberlain. Okay. So did you just see this recently?
I saw it when it came out, and then I rewatched it the other day for the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What did you? You're a big Winston Churchill fan. So how did you like his portrayal in this movie? I'm just curious.
And so many Churchill films that I've seen, like all the Churchill films I've seen, I feel like they take Churchill and they make him into a cartoon. And I can't stand it. It's like, okay, Winston Churchill said this, so he's got to say this. Winston Churchill did that, so he's got to do that. But I feel like they lose sight of the person.
Right.
And he just feels like a cartoon.
Right.
In this film, he feels like a real person to me.
Yeah. And I think that...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say, I think in a lot of movies, there's like this myth around him, and he just pops in and, there has to be, I guess, like the caricature. It's sort of like with FDR, too, might be the same way. You might see...
Yeah, he seems cartoonish in all the movies I've seen of FDR.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. There's a PBS masterpiece series going on called Atlantic Crossing, and it's all about the how the Norwegian princess was having to in exile in the United States, and befriended Franklin Roosevelt to try to help Norway in some way do some kind of front against the Germans that were occupying. And it's an interesting series, but you see a lot of FDR on that show. He's played by Kyle MacLachlan on that series.
Really?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hello, Al. Thank you for stopping by. You might like this film. It's like a teacher type movie, I'd say. And now, one thing to keep in mind that at this point in time, there's a lot of people who agreed with Germany, and in all countries, even here. Kennedy's father, what was his name? Joseph Kennedy.
Right.
He was very sympathetic to the Germans. He was recalled as ambassador because of it.
Oh, interesting. I'm trying to know too, how bad did we know? I mean, not that I'm trying to make excuses for people that were sympathetic, but I'm wondering how bad did we know that party was back then? I mean, did anybody even know about the Holocaust yet? I mean,
we had reports, but it wasn't public knowledge.
right.
And when the Allies started to liberate the camps,
Yeah, I think the soldiers.
Eisenhower sent every soldier who could possibly go to a camp to go to a camp and witness it with their own eyes, because he was scared that nobody would believe them.
Yeah.
He's like, we have to have witnesses to this.
Mm-hmm. No, good man. He's my favorite president, Eisenhower.
Eisenhower? Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd go with George Washington, I think.
No, Washington's a great president too, but no, Eisenhower. Actually, no, I mean, obviously George Washington, you could argue he's the greatest, because who knows if there would be any more presidents after him if not for him. But I don't know. Eisenhower, I felt he kind of saw the United States a lot of prosperity, when he was running things, and
yeah,
in fact, I do credit him with NASA too. I think a lot of that was underway. To be fair, defense of Kennedy, I think he also carried the torch on that too. But I think a lot of the pre-planning that started under Eisenhower. Oh, this is the secretary, right?
Yeah. And I like her character.
What's the actress's name? I think she played Cinderella, right?
Lily Jane.
Billy. Okay.
Sorry? Lily Jane.
Okay.
She played in Cinderella, Pride and Prejudice, and Zombies, and Baby Driver, amongst other things.
Okay. So here we have Winston.
Well, Zootopia, I think he's an Eisenhower fan as well.
Yeah. A good president.
Wolfman, like Reagan. I like Reagan very much.
Mm-hmm. I was watching this with one of my mom's friends when this is the scene where he starts going, many, 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 when he starts yelling at the secretary, and then she gets up and leaves, and then her friend said, type it yourself. It's like, but I don't know, maybe I wish I could be important enough that I could yell at a secretary.
Do you have a secretary?
No, I that's what I'm saying. I wish I was a bigwig. I could yell at my staff and belittle them. Come on, it's every person's dream, right? I'm sorry.
Churchill was very demanding on his staff. I will say that.
This is an excellent makeup job, though. It's one of the best I've ever seen, I think. So you're saying usually it's more like a caricature of Churchill you're seeing in these movies and not really the man. In this, you see the man.
Yeah. And the scenes between him and his wife in this film are very well done.
Mm-hmm.
There's one towards the end that I think is it's the finest moment in the entire film by far. And I'll point it out when it gets here. And she is not ugly, H. Boomer. I just feel like I need to say that.
She played Cinderella, okay? So it's like, there's this Australian actress who I thought would have made the perfect Snow White, but I don't know if they'll ever cast her at this point. But I was watching her on this one. New Zealand. I think she's from New Zealand, but she looks just like Snow White. It's light of today's. Oh. I said ripe. Time is right for many preparations to be made. Oh, look at this. Single spaced. Yeah, I might have thought to do double spacing. You weren't screaming at me every 2 seconds. You know, I'm big on double spacing too.
You know, like years, like a lifetime ago, back when I was in college, I had an internet girlfriend, and she would write these long ass emails with like no paragraphs, just like one long ass paragraph.
Yes.
And I'm like, honey, this ain't gonna work out. You paragraphs.
Oh no.
That was my Churchill moment in college. I'm like,
I might have done the same thing.
You can't do paragraphs. We can't do anything else. Sorry.
Yeah, or at least don't make me read your letters. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I need paragraphs. Actress's name.
Kristen Scott Thomas.
Kristen Scott Thomas, who we saw the other week when Troy and I were doing the rewatch of the Prince movie.
Really?
The Cherry Moon movie. She was much younger in that. To be fair, though, they probably aged her up a little bit for this movie too, though, like the Gary Oldman. But yeah, she was in that. She was in a movie with Prince. It was like her first big role.
I think Kristen Scott Thomas has got to be in her 50s or more.
So, I'm thinking so.
Did you see The English Patient?
I did when that came out. Yes,
he was gorgeous in that movie.
Yes, yes, I didn't. That was one of those movies I saw, and I'm like, yeah. I agree with Joe Bob Briggs' assessment of The English Patient. He's like, he was complaining about it, and then people were saying him, but Joe Bob, you don't know how beautiful the book was. Why didn't I'm not reading the book. I'm seeing the movie. Okay, don't tell me I have to read the book before seeing the movie. It's ridiculous. That was back when Miramax was the big thing.
Yeah,
and then Harvey Weinstein had his problems, and Miramax, and plus maybe he left Miramax anyway because Disney had the follow up with Disney even before that happened, and then this is kind of like one of those movies we might have seen back in the 90s, one of those important Oscar bait movies, right?
Yeah.
But this is actually, this is what I know some people may not like this guy, but Bill Maher was having a rant about the Oscars the other week, and he says, "You used to make something that was about something, but wouldn't depress me or bore me, when you would nominate it." And it's like this is a good movie. It's an actual story, It's not boring.
No.
And I do like this though, because this is an interesting World War II movie for me, because I think we forget just how terrifying, Germany probably was at this point in history, And plus they had just...
If you just saw all of Europe fall in a matter of days, I mean, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This is a cute scene between them. It's very endearing. She's buttoning his waistcoat and encouraging him, and he's admitting to yeah, I've always wanted this, but under the circumstances,
he'd probably rather have it during more like peacetime, right? Not on the verge of
if he had, no one would know who the hell he was.
Nope. I wonder who drew that painting in the background. Is that a Renoir? I have no eye for this stuff.
Probably not.
No, probably not. Okay.
Now, Churchill did have a lot of hats, and Churchill had a lot of clothes, too.
It's another thing. After my dad passed away, he had a big hat collection, right? And I think I was in grad school at the time, and my mom gave, I guess she donated them to Goodwill, but she kept the ball caps. And I'm like, why didn't you donate the ball caps to Goodwill? Because I don't care about the ball caps. He had some nice hats. He had a fedora. Not that I want to be a fedora tipper or anything, but he had a decent fedora, like an Indiana Jones style fedora,
Yeah.
He had a Russian hat. He had straw hats too. Oh well. I think fedoras fell out of fashion because they became too expensive, and men said, "To heck with this," and they stopped wearing them.
Yeah, and Kennedy stopped wearing hats, and that kind of set the trend for the young people.
Oh, I see. Because I think if you watch the show Mad Men, they're still wearing hats. Not sure how accurate Mad Men is to the 1960s, but I used to watch that show. I believe I can boil an egg, but only because I've seen it done. Can you boil an egg, Mr. Matchstick?
Oh.
No. You're not Mr. Matchstick. I'm sorry. You're Birdman. Okay. Sorry about that.
Well, I thought Mr. Matchstick was in the stream.
I was on a stream with him last night. I'm sorry. Okay. All right.
Okay. I can kind of boil an egg. I'm not real big on eggs, so it's not really a skill that I feel like I need.
Okay.
But did you know that Winston served in 3 wars?
Yeah, he talks about an incident that happened in World War I, right?
Yeah. He was colonel of a Scottish regiment in World War I.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Boer War. He was taken captive. He escaped from the Boers and made his way back to the British. He gained a lot of popularity from that incident. And then, of course, World War II.
Right. I've seen this actor in a lot of movies too. I'm so bad with names lately. The one playing the I guess this is the king that we saw in the King's Speech, right? But it's not a different actor though, not Colin Firth. Yeah,
Ben Mendelsohn,
right?
Who's very good at playing bad guys. This might be his only good guy role.
Yeah, I typically see him as villains, so that's what it was interesting seeing him in this. King's Speech is a good movie. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It's a good one. It's about the king having to get over his, I guess, his speech impediment to give the speech. The famous, World War II speech. But let's Big Al say, aged boomer using wrong name. Oops. Yes, I know. It's just, you know what? We all have these weird alias names, okay? They all run together after a while. I'm fine. Da, 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 da.
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn's the Australian.
Oh, okay. Interesting. This is like an awkward meeting, okay? Because I don't get the impression he's thrilled about Churchill being prime minister, but he's still the king.
Churchill was never very popular. He was quite controversial. A lot of people didn't like him. But I think he was the only man who could have done the job that he did.
Yes. I believe we're to meet regularly once a week, I'm afraid. How are you for Mondays? I shall endeavor to be available. Okay. On Mondays, 4 o'clock. I nap at 4. Is that permissible? No, but necessary. I work late. Okay. Then perhaps lunchtime. Lunch. Mondays. Okay. Yes. What would I eat if I were the King of England?
Whatever you want.
I guess.
Have a good night, Wolfie. Thanks for stopping by. Come back next week. We'll have another film.
Yes.
Oh. And thank you for the compliments on the dinner jacket. Appreciate it.
Yes. Oh, Green Lion Girl. I wonder if she's playing the new Resident Evil. Or maybe she's not into those. I'm not sure. Let me
You know,
see.
the music here is very kind of gentle considering what's going on in the country.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rolling piano melody.
Now, how was the score for this? Is it like a complete score that you were able to get, or is it like, as usual, they're going to give you the chintzy score and then you're going to
like 58 minutes. I don't think that's the complete score.
You figure by now they'd learn, just put the whole thing out now. Okay, people are buying this stuff.
Really. I mean, if nothing else, just make it a digital download. You know, if you buy the CD, here's a code, download the entire thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, CDs are cheap to produce anyway, and plus CDs can go up to 75 minutes anyway. I mean, what's the runtime? What's the max space on a CD? Was it 76 minutes? Something around there?
It's close to 80.
Yeah, see, I don't know. You could get more on there than just 58. I actually copied my first CD I ever owned when I was a kid. I got it for Christmas. It was the Fantasia soundtrack to Walt Disney's Fantasia.
Wow, I have it on tape.
It's a double disc CD set. And the CDs themselves aren't that long, though. They're only like 40 minutes each, though. But so I don't know why.
Hey, Matthew Flynn. Hello, Matthew Flynn. We're watching a movie about your country tonight.
Yes. Jolly old England that I guess isn't so jolly. Well, they're not so. They're actually, they seem happy now. They're wearing gas masks and waving the flags. Okay.
It must be 2020 all over again.
I know. Yeah, tell me about it. We're watching Winston Churchill, though. My favorite part in this movie is when he calls up FDR over the phone.
Yeah, you can almost feel the desperation in that phone call.
I'm laughing in the scene because it's almost like FDR wants to help him, but he really is bounded by all. You find out from this Atlantic Crossing show that, like, he's wanting the U.S. to do more, but the trouble is that he's bound by all of these terms and treaties after the First World War. You understand? And you know, if he's not careful, he'll get his butt voted out of office if he gets the American public thinks they're going to be getting involved in the war overseas. You know, and he's trying to maneuver everything. It's interesting.
I mean, all of Europe was so gun shy after World War I.
Oh yeah, well the United States was too. Yeah,
not like Europe.
Well, I'm sure Europe was worse. Yeah, but
so like they call it the lost generation because so many men died. So many men died in World War I.
They think France lost a generation due to that war.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't they weren't able to do so much in the second one. I mean, like I said, we'll find that out if we watch on 1917 in a couple of weeks or whatever you feel like watching. But I like the time in this, how it keeps going. May 13th. You're actually following along, and it's. What's the length of time in this movie? Is it a month?
It's like 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like movies that play around with time like that, where you're only. I mean, sometimes you see it happens in a couple days, like 13 days. The movie 13 Days about the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's obviously 13 days, but you know, this it's only a few weeks, and it's interesting.
Now they had to reconstruct Parliament here because they weren't allowed. They could film in the building, but no one could sit in the chairs.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only members of Parliament can sit in the chairs, so they just built a copy of it.
Well, you know what? Maybe they're better off because they can make it look like maybe I don't know if the building's changed that much since these times anyway, but maybe they're better off. I like this though. What is it? If Chamberlain doesn't wave the handkerchief, you don't applaud, and they're all watching it for the signal. It's just
And that table there looks a lot like mine, just except mine's piled with like records and CDs and mail.
No, my room's a mess too. I'm almost through the CDs. I got 2 more shelves left, and then I got to go through the. But it's weird the amount of classical music I have now, just inherited so much from my dad. But oops. Sorry about that. If you heard any of that, did you hear any music playing?
I hear music playing.
You did. I'm sorry. Okay.
You mean like from your end?
Yes.
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. No, there's this thing. Sometimes my iTunes goes off, and let me shut that down right now. And I always worry people in the streams are hearing it, but I guess you're not. So, okay, it's fine. All right. But is she having to transcribe the speech? Is that what she's doing right now?
Yeah. And Churchill was rather infamous for walking around nude in his house.
Yeah, don't do that, man. Come on. No. Did you not read the Adam and Eve story? They got ashamed when they were naked. That's, come on. I don't know. I was watching that Lee Daniels, the Butler movie, and apparently, President Johnson had meetings while he was on the toilet, if I'm following that right.
Yeah, I've heard that.
No. Come on. I think there's an episode of Seinfeld. I don't know if Jerry wasn't going to the bathroom or if Kramer was going to the bathroom and wanted to have a conversation. It's like, no, we're not doing this while you're in the bathroom. You do your business and then we'll talk. Okay. It's like we have before us of struggle and suffering. No one wants to hear that.
This doesn't even look like Gary Oldman to me.
He does in the eyes, okay? But you're right. When you're looking at him, I'm not necessarily registering Gary Oldman. He does well. That just means he's doing a good job acting. Okay. I remembered many years back, I got to see Hal Holbrook perform Mark Twain live on stage, right?
Really?
And Paul Holbrook, yeah, I know him, but he was so good as Mark Twain. I wasn't seeing Hal Holbrook. I was seeing Mark Twain, from the past in person on the stage. Okay, that's how good he was. So I guess that's if you're seeing Churchill and you're not seeing Gary Oldman, he's doing his job, right?
Didn't he do Mark Twain in that Star Trek Next Generation episode?
I don't know if that was him. That might have been a different actor. Lots of actors have done the Mark Twain stage play. I'm sure the actor they got probably did that too. And Jeffrey Combs does a Edgar Allan Poe live stage performance.
Really?
Yeah, because he's the one that was in all those horror movies, so it's interesting they got him to do Poe in a stage thing. But I'd love to see that sometime. But. So is he now going to meet Chamberlain?
No.
All right, this is where we find out he is sick. That's got to be rough. You're not even going to see how it turns out. Right?
Yeah, Chamberlain didn't live to see the end of the war.
Neither did FDR, if I remember, right?
Neither did FDR.
Yeah, because Truman took over. Yeah.
If only Stalin hadn't lived to see the end of the war. I don't know. Maybe it would have been worse. I mean, you can't really tell there, but
who knows? He was pretty bad. It was interesting, though. I remember in history class in high school during those accords, like Stalin wanted to wipe Germany off the map. He was furious.
He was.
Yeah, he.
Stalin wiped half of his people off the map.
You mean the other guy? Oh, Stalin himself wiped half his people.
Stalin maybe, killed a lot.
But yeah, but a lot of Russians. Yeah, a lot
of
Russians died as a result of Germany too, though. So it was we're very fortunate in many respects, okay, to have not lived through this period and also to be living in this particular country. Now, granted, I don't know what the future of this country holds right now, considering the way things are, but we'll see. Maybe we'll pull through. I like those bowler hats, okay? That might be a cool hat to own, you know?
I have one.
Yeah, I might. If I were to try it, you know what? If I ever get a fancy hat, maybe I'll do a bowler. That might be more so me than like a fedora. I think Odd Job and Goldfinger had a bowler, right?
It
So
did.
memory serves, yeah.
I love the piano in this score. I absolutely love the piano.
Oh yeah, you could
It's,
do a lot. Go ahead.
the guy's last name is like Ofulason. I can't pronounce. I think it's Norwegian, and I don't do
Okay.
good with Norwegian, but um, there's a lot of piano in Atonement as well, which is another film scored by Dario Marianelli and directed by the same guy, and it's also about Dunkirk, oddly enough.
Oh, Atonement.
Yeah.
I need to watch Atonement. I feel bad. My sister got me the DVD for as a birthday present years ago. I still haven't watched it. Yes, this is surprise you. I own movies that I haven't watched yet. I actually have a few of those.
I think we all do.
Yeah. Not any fault of the movie. I just haven't had the occasion, you know. I don't know. Of course, considering Hollywood isn't putting a lot of stuff out these days, that's probably the time to watch them is now, right?
Yeah.
This was a good, solid movie, though.
I still can't believe that Gary Oldman won the Academy Award because I didn't think they would give it to him because he was playing Churchill.
Yeah, neither did I, and I don't know if that would. I don't. Go ahead.
I figured the Academy would, because Churchill's caught a lot of crap lately for dumbass reasons.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what is it? The whole thing. They always turn on the people, on the war leaders after when peacetime hits.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I'm glad they gave it to him, and it's. I'm sorry, he was the man we needed at the time. We might be all under another flag right now if not for him. Okay, so let's not.
I mean, I think.
Let's not throw stones at people for not being perfect. If that even is the case, I don't know, because sometimes people make stuff up too.
Well, he was against giving women the right to vote.
Okay.
But given the time period, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want me to say?
No, I understand. It's things always seem, yeah.
And he made some military blunders. Like a week or so after the end of this film, he ordered the annihilation of the French fleet that was in port. But he said, "You can surrender to us, or you will be destroyed." And they said, "Well, we can't surrender to you." He said, "Okay, we'll sink you," and he did.
Wow.
But if he hadn't done that, who would have gotten that fleet? The Germans.
We know who would have gotten it.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to have to sink that fleet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think if Britain had sued for peace, they would have had to given up probably all their colonies.
It wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. The man wasn't good. The man wasn't stopping. Okay, the Fuhrer wasn't stopping. Okay, you think you make peace with him? That's what they were doing over in Norway. They're like, oh, well, you know, we're a neutral country. They're not going to mess with us. And of course, what happens? They mess with them. Okay, you know.
And the meeting with, I guess the French, you call him a prime minister, and he realizes the French, they don't have the spirit to fight. But could you imagine if there had been a French Winston Churchill and he had said, like,
yeah,
you're gonna have to kill every last one of us.
Yeah, yeah. A Like I say, I know a lot of them were reeling from World War One. That was part of this, I'm sure. I don't even know what kind of shape any of these militaries are in at this point in history.
France wasn't very good.
Yeah.
To be fair, they are French. Ah, Matthew Flynn, I love you. Oui, oui, sacre bleu.
Anyways,
Yeah.
what was I going to say? What was I going to say though? But well, plus I'm sure too. Had they also been racked by depression like we were, I would imagine they were.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The Great Depression. I'm sure it hit over there too in some fashion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was a worldwide thing.
I know Japan got hit pretty hard, but it looked like they were hit earlier than we were. If I'm following, I watched a great Japanese animated movie called The Wind Rises, which was actually about the man that invented the Japanese fighter planes for World War II. But it was an anime. It was the last movie by Hayao Miyazaki, and it was a biopic, which I thought was interesting because he usually does fantasy movies. But you kind of see all the stuff that was happening in Japan before the war, and like I think they had a nasty earthquake. That was another thing that happened over there, and then they had gone through their own depression. I'm trying to think of other World War II movies I saw recently. I saw Midway.
Which one? The
new one? The new one.
Okay. Did you like it?
Here's what I'm going to say about it. I was expecting it to be trash, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to say it's a great war movie, but it was good enough. Okay, it was good. Okay, because didn't Roland Emmerich do that one?
Yeah,
and I was afraid it was going to be like Pearl Harbor, or it was going to be some ridiculous thing, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think it's worth at least a watch. Yeah. Sometimes people can surprise you. Michael Bay did that 13 Hours movie. That was also very good.
It's not like his only good film.
Maybe, but the point is that I'm used to nonsense from Michael Bay, but it's like maybe what Michael Bay needs to be doing is modern military movies. That I think that's what he wants to be directing, and that's probably what he should be directing. And instead of doing Transformers movies, which I don't know that he likes to do, So
I really enjoyed the Bumblebee movie, but Michael Bay didn't do that. So
that can happen. Sometimes they'll get a different. You'll see Michael Bay, but there'll be a different director directing, and like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like I know there's some out there that hated the new Turtles movies. I thought they were all right though. I didn't even the first one I didn't mind. I do feel bad for the actors in those suits though after what I heard they did to them though. But V for Victory. I'm sorry. I'm sealed in the privy. At least he washes his hands.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be blunt. If I could get it away with it, I'd probably be in a bathroom all the time too, right? In my pajamas. Of course, how late is this? Actually, the sun's out. It's probably 1 PM, right?
Churchill got up kind of early. He didn't really sleep a whole lot. He did take a nap, but he didn't really sleep a whole lot.
Oh, Edison was the same way. They say Thomas Edison, he liked to do naps. He didn't like to do these big nights of sleep. He would take short naps, To be fair, I've heard that the modern way of sleeping, where we just sleep the 8 hours at night and stay awake the rest of the day, that's actually not normal for, I think, a mammal. I don't know, or not normal.
I'll say that.
What?
Not normal for dogs.
Yeah, I mean, most animals, they'll rest at different points in the day, and I think we used to too as a species, but because the civilization, we got used to doing it all in packed hours. That's why some countries still have the siesta, I think. Yeah. My copy of Cicero. What'd she say? We're broke? Out? Get out? What?
And that is a true point. Churchill had a lot of financial problems his entire life.
Yeah, that's not good. I got down to only 4 cigars a day. I wonder how much cigars were during this time. I've only smoked a cigar once. And it was actually a very pleasant experience. I'd like to try it again sometime. But how about you? You there, Daniel?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I'm just saying. Have you ever smoked a cigar before?
No, my father died from lung cancer, so I'm pretty anti-smoking.
Okay. Well, sorry to hear that. I only smoked one once, but I did enjoy it. We were at a cigar bar after I did a poetry reading. I said, "What the heck? I'll try one." I get why people like cigars. They're very relaxing.
Yeah, he got diagnosed with lung and throat cancer, and I think he lasted maybe 6 weeks after that.
Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry. My dad died of cancer too, but his lingered on for a lot longer than that.
When did your dad die?
Back in 2013.
Okay, mine was 1977, so back then you got it diagnosis. It was pretty.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they don't know as much as they do now.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, smoking's not good for you, but I do get why people like cigars.
Now the score does a great job with the strings kind of propelling the story forward, I think, but I think it's how Churchill carried himself and just a forward movement at all times. And he was always thinking forward. What's the next step? What's the next move? What's the next thing to do? I think that's how Churchill thought, always thinking ahead. I think the music does a good job of conveying that part of his character.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think so. It's a good score. I should probably look into maybe listening to it sometime just by itself.
I've got it on CD. I wish it was out on LP. I would snatch that up in a second.
Oh, Zootopia says, Atonement is one of the best and most depressing movies I have ever seen. I'm not sure if your sister likes you or not. No, she got it because she thought it was a great movie, but yeah, I'm wondering now. I've seen some depressing movies.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn my patio light on. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Well, I got to entertain the chat now.
It's like right there.
Cigars and a nice bourbon are great. I don't know what drink I got with it. I want to say Long Island iced tea, but I don't know if that's sacrilegious. It was maybe it wasn't a Long Island iced tea. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it might have been a Long Island iced tea now I'm thinking about it. I haven't had a blue Hawaiian in a long time. Oh, yeah, this was the tense scene when he's giving the thing over the radio. And I'm thinking he's going to flub it, right?
I've looked on eBay. You can get old LPs of Churchill's speeches, of Churchill giving the speech.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. There's one LP set. It was like $200-something, but I can't find any other copies of it. That's the only one that seems to be on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, but
you're thinking about it, aren't you?
I am, but I've spent a lot of money on groceries this week.
I would, just wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait. And I got the Xterra back from the shop, so I've spent most of my fun money for this month.
How bloody dare he? And bloody's like a bad word over there, right?
I'm sorry?
Bloody's a bad word over there, right?
I don't know if it's a bad word. Matthew Flynn. So if I say bloody, is that like a bad
It's like a cuss word, right?
Like an adjective. That's pretty haunting right there.
Oh yeah. Conquer we shall. It's a good speech.
I don't think Churchill gave a bad speech ever.
I'll tell you, you should really check out the King's speech sometime too. That's when the King of England has to give the speech, and Jeffrey Rush was in that as his coach, as a speech coach, or trying to get better at speaking. I think Jeffrey Rush got Me Too, so I don't think we're going to be seeing him anytime soon.
Bloody is a mild swear word. Oh, that's interesting. I just thought it was more like just like an adjective, like I don't know any other adjective, like
damnable. I don't know. That might be our equivalent. I don't know.
Who says that anymore? That's like
I don't know. They probably did in the colonial times. Okay.
How old are you, age boomer?
I remember in one of the best Lovecraft adaptation movies, The Resurrected, like one of the guys says, "I made the most damnable mistake." It's like, well, that don't sound good. Okay. But I think he was from colonial times or something. It was. Could I have? Do you think you could live in a different decade, Daniel? Have you ever thought about that?
Knowing what I know now?
Yeah. Would you make out well in the 40s? I guess the war is going on, so maybe that wouldn't be pleasant.
I don't think I would like the 60s.
I might like Europe in the 60s. I don't know how much I might like the United States. Might depend on where in the United States I was, but Europe in the 60s always struck me as interesting. Like, Italy, France, England. Well, England, some would argue England's not really Europe, but I say I was captured by the Boers, spent time in a South African prison. Up your bum? What?
I like this scene between him and her.
It's a bit of levity. I think it's good. Wouldn't like millions of people to take it the wrong way, indeed. I think what else she's been in besides Cinderella.
Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
I'm not watching that movie. It's not happening. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm tired. No, I'll save that for another time.
I heard she's playing Pamela Lee in some upcoming film about Pamela Lee and.
Okay.
What's his name? Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee? What are you talking about?
That actress is playing Pamela Lee Anderson in an upcoming movie.
She's playing Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
But Pamela Anderson isn't going to be in the movie, right? Because I guess
as far as I know.
I don't know. Okay. I'll be fine. I don't know. The Tommy Lee Pamela Anderson relationship, they're going to do a movie on that. You know what? It's probably going to be better than anything Marvel's putting out. What am I to say? Okay. I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm fine. Don't be a crotchety old man.
I am looking forward to Shang-Chi for right now.
That's fine. You can look forward to it. It looks like the best of the ones coming out. Like I say, you know what? Don't be a crotchety old man. I have to start reminding myself of that.
No, not to be a crotchety old man, or telling you not to be a crotchety
I'm
old
telling
man.
myself not to become one. I'm starting to wonder if I'm getting tendencies. Okay. Anyway, but it's a good movie. I like Darkest Hour. Okay. I like 1917. It's like, that's a good movie. Wonder what the next movie I'll see in the theater will be. Oh, theaters are closed because of pandemic. Okay, that's what happened
Are
after
theaters not open
1917.
in Florida?
I think they are, and maybe I should venture out. That new
Okay.
Conjuring is coming to theaters, right?
I think so.
This summer, maybe I'll venture out. I mean, I've been vaccinated. There shouldn't be an issue at this point. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will venture out to a movie theater and see a movie. Maybe that'll be my big experiment coming up soon. I mean, I've been fully vaccinated. Another week I should have what that is the 95% immunity, blah blah, that they promised or something. Have you gotten your shots yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the second one last week. That was remember that? Yeah, last Thursday when I went to bed that night. Remember how I was feeling all right?
Yeah.
Went to bed that night. I got chills all over. It was not pleasant. I'm like, oh, what is this? Fever dreams.
I felt bad for probably 5 or 6 days.
I didn't feel bad for 5 or 6 days, but it really hit me that night. I hate it when I call it fever dreams. Okay. Where it feels like your brain, like all the synapses are going off the wrong way, like you're having all these weird thoughts, but they're not cohesive. I don't know. I get that if I get a bad fever. They happen once in a blue moon. Last time I got sick like that was right before the pandemic hit, actually. I got a bad stomach virus one night. A lot of darkened rooms, huh?
So Churchill wants to send the garrison from Calais to attack the Germans' rear to buy time for the troops on the beach at Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And the war cabinet's like, well, this is suicide because you're talking 4,000 men versus the entire German advancing army. But you got 300,000 troops over here on the beach. I don't know. It seems like that's a pretty easy decision.
You think? I don't know.
Oh, okay. If you don't send the 4,000 troops in, Germans are going to get done on the beach. They're going to come back to mop up and either kill them or throw them in a camp. You're going to lose it either way.
So take the risk.
What other option do you have?
This actor, is that the actor who played Stannis? No, he just looks kind of like him, I think. Okay. Well, they had plastic back then. It is the reason I sit in this chair. He's getting furious. So they're saying, well, are you not even going to consider peace negotiations? What do you think?
How could you trust him? He violated every treaty he had entered into.
That's why you can't do the peace negotiations, okay?
Yeah. They took the Rhineland, and he's like, this is all we need. This is all we want. This is it. And then you go a little bit further. Then you go a little bit further. And then you're plowing through Poland, and then you're plowing through Belgium, and you're plowing through France. Man,
Poland had it rough the last century. For first the Germans, then the Russian occupation. Just it's just the communists. Ugh.
God bless Pope John Paul II. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think are they doing better now in Poland now, I think?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough coming back from all that.
Yeah, but I think they've been doing better. Yeah.
And Zootopia's got the actor's name for you, Boomer.
Stephen Delane. Okay, thank you. Think what else I've seen him in. I keep thinking Game of Thrones, but to be fair, half the actors in this probably showed up on Game of Thrones at some point, right? I don't know. That show was like a who's who of British actors for a while. Oh, as Toby makes a point, they didn't know at the time if they could even beat Germany, so they thought negotiations were better.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't even the United States wasn't even in the war yet, so I mean they were kind of all on their own at this point, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure if hardly anyone thought you could beat Germany at that point in time.
No, they were a formidable opponent. Also, the Japanese Empire, terrifying.
Yeah. Oh God, they were fanatical. Holy crap!
Terrifying. Actually, I'll say this with Midway. They were making a point in Midway that the Japanese ships, they actually had better technology than we did in that battle. Okay. We had the better pilots. I don't know. It was a lot of that was skill and luck, but yeah, that was Captain America sucks Hitler's dumbass. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Oh, yes, here we go. My favorite part. We don't even get, you know what I like about this movie too? We don't get to even see FDR on screen, but we hear him over the phone, right? And I keep thinking too, it's like communicating back then seemed a little rougher than it is now, especially going overseas. You could do it, but it wasn't, it sounds like it was tricky, you know?
Yeah.
I'm telephoning you about your Navy, sis. If you could loan us just 50 older destroyers, yes, or even 40 would do. You know. I did ask around, but just not possible. I'm afraid it's. Troudiak last year has tied my hands. Just can't swing it. Yes, look at him. I tried. Well, do I have your permission to send an aircraft carrier to pick up the P-40 fighter planes we purchased from you? You know? Well, you've got me there again. I'm so sorry. New law preventing transshipment of military equipment. Oh, man. But we paid for them. We paid for them with the money that we borrowed from you. Yes.
That's a sweet deal.
Oh, I remembered. After World War One, I think there was some. I don't know if it was someone in Congress or whatever saying that we should have. Someone was asking that should we forgive the debt that England owes us or something? They were allies with us in the war, and like I forget some jerk congressman is, well they well no, it's the money they owe us. It was like this real. I forget what I shouldn't even bring it up. I don't remember what the quote was, but it was some really nasty line. But no, we're not going to forgive the English debt or something. It's like, someone in Congress said that. I don't know if we eventually did. We probably did at some point, but it was like. We could take your planes about a mile from the Canadian border. Yes. And then if you send across a team of horses from Canada, nothing motorized, then you could pull them over the border yourself. Could that work?
You could pull a plane with a horse. Yeah.
Because they have to be light enough to get in the air. Yeah. Horses.
I mean, they got landing gear.
I'll say this. I know he's saying a team of horses, but FDR is trying to figure out a way around these treaties. We're on the phone with him, okay? You find this on Darkest Hour, okay? He comes up with the Lend-Lease thing, saying that we can't sell them stuff, but we can rent them stuff, loan them stuff. It was a big thing, Lend-Lease, That was a way they got around the fact that they couldn't sell. weapons.
Yeah, America really didn't want to get involved in any of that.
No. Well, even FDR had trepidations too, because it's like the Princess Honora. She's like, America's a strong country, and he's like, we're not as strong as you think. Okay, he's after Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, he was, they didn't have a choice, but it was. Of course, at this point in the series, we realize that there's a plot that there are actually Norwegian sympathizers to Germany, and they want to kidnap the princess and bring her back to Norway. Of course, I'm wondering how accurate that show is, but it's interesting.
Do you know why Switzerland was spared from World War II?
Why?
Because every man in the country was trained to be a sniper, and they were all furnished with a firearm. And Hitler was told, if we go through Switzerland, we will get picked off, and it will be bloody, bloody, bloody. We have to go around.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And to this very day, if you're a male in Switzerland, you're trained to use a rifle, and you're expected, if anyone comes a knocking, you got to go do what you got to do.
And shoot.
And that's one reason why Japan said they couldn't invade America, because everyone's got a gun. Well, we can't do it.
Yeah, we'd be tough.
Yeah. I wonder how tough we would be nowadays.
I don't know.
I like to think, at least in the South, all the good Bubbas and I.
I'd like to think too. It's hard to tell because I don't know how. Obviously, a lot of our institutions are a mess right now. I don't know how the rank and file American would call to action if we were invaded by a foreign entity. But Remind me to tell you about something after the stream I saw the other day. I'll be polite and not bring it up on air, though.
Okay. Save that for the post show.
Yeah, I know. I try not to be mean to people I see out there, but I saw some people out there, and I'll tell you about it after the stream. Just let's just say I just hope the people I saw are representative of the younger generation coming up in this country, because we're going to be in trouble. Okay, but I'll tell you about it after the stream. Let's see though. That's a nice. I bet that's a nice big painting. I'll say this. If I had been a rich aristocrat, I'd like nice big paintings to look at all day. Okay.
I've got nice big paintings to look at.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about big.
Oh, I know.
I don't think your walls are even that big to have these.
No, they should be.
Yeah. Okay. And I would imagine that's what you had instead of movies. You could just look at the painting for hours. I like though. You know what I'll say about Churchill though? He's asking. He wants an honest answer. He's asking an honest question. And he's getting an honest answer. Right? Okay. And at this point, that's what the king needs. Okay. What are they eating? Steak?
I think so.
Oh, I like Lord Halifax as a close personal friend of mine. Okay.
He ends up going to the States to be ambassador.
Oh, Gallipoli. Oh, I've heard about Gallipoli. I don't know the details, but yeah, I've heard that that name.
It was a World War One boo-boo.
Yeah.
He had risen to First Lord of the Admiralty, which is kind of like head of the Navy.
Oh wow.
Um, I think it kind of came down to miscommunication, and people had some different ideas after they had decided what to do, and did not work out well.
Mm. He's feeding the dog. What kind of dog is that?
And he did not have a happy childhood. He was pretty
Well,
much raised by his nanny.
he was what?
He was pretty much raised by his nanny. His parents
Oh,
were absent
okay.
a lot.
Yeah, that was a thing that shows up in that Waiting for Christopher Robin movie. I don't know if you saw that, or Goodbye Christopher Robin. I think it was Goodbye Christopher Robin. That's right. About the writing of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah.
Did you have any family members in the war?
In World War II, my uncle Jack, he had married my father's sister. He was in World War II. That's all I know of, though. A lot of my the men were of the they were, what were they doing? They were I don't know if they were too old for the war. They were working in like the I think they're working at like the medical facilities in New Jersey,
Okay.
producing the medicines and stuff. But I think my grandfather would have been too old to be in the war. Actually, at that point, he was. The men in my family were weird generationally because it's like my parents were silent generation. They weren't baby boomers. And my dad did serve in the Air Force, but he didn't get involved in any conflict. I think because it was basically like right after Korea, but before really Vietnam started heating up. Plus, not everyone who goes to the military is always thrown to Vietnam. Sometimes they go other places during those times too. Um, Actually, if my uncle had stayed in the Air Force, he would have ended up in Vietnam though. But no, just my Uncle Jack. That's all I know of. Yeah. But a lot of my family were in the military, though. Yeah. I'm trying to think. And it was weird. My dad and his two brothers, right? My dad became the policeman. My one uncle became the fireman, and the other uncle became the mailman. Okay, it's like the three government jobs,
Wow.
right? It's like Europe is lost. Wow.
He's being pretty pragmatic, but he is kind of right. Um, at that moment,
When will the lesson be learned? He's not wrong. Many more dictators must be wooed, appeased.
How many more Twitter people need to be appeased?
I am off Twitter. Okay,
Everyone should be off Twitter.
yeah, it's basically the name is still up there because I don't want anyone to steal my name. But I've unfollowed anyone. No, nothing personal against those I've unfollowed. I'm trying, and I've gotten rid of most of my posts. I'm trying to make it basically dead accounts. I'm off Facebook too. I'm just done. I don't know. Anyway, I do not trust those. Well, Twitter's a whole other animal than Facebook. That's like, what did somebody make a point that Twitter has destroyed more careers than it's created? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Bring it up. And I saw it. That might be an interesting. Has there been a movie about Gallipoli? I think there was one, wasn't there?
There was a movie about him in the Boer War, but I don't think a movie about him in World War One.
What was that? The Ottomans? Was it the Ottomans? Take because you mentioned the Turks. I guess that's what the Ottoman Empire at that point. I don't know. I should learn my history.
Yeah, in World War One. Yeah, it was still the Ottoman Empire.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And Zootopia says he has never tweeted. Neither have I.
I tried. It didn't even really take with me either, so I didn't miss it. I would follow people more on Twitter just because that's how you, especially YouTubers you like, but they don't post as much as you like. You want to see what's up with them. Is everything all right? You know. Some of the YouTubers I like to watch only do it like once a month. You know, it's like.
I read a criticism on this film score that didn't have a lot of thematic material, but I don't think it really needs a lot of thematic material.
I had no problem with this score. I thought it worked
fine. Either.
What do you mean thematic? What do they mean?
Like Churchill should have a theme. The King should have a theme.
I don't want a lot of pomp and circumstance in this.
I don't either.
It's not. It's called The Darkest Hour. Okay, I'm just, and I'm not going to say it's supposed to be overly depressing either, but it's this is scary times. Okay, I can't even imagine what it was like to live back then when all this was going on.
Well, the Battle of Britain was coming up right after this, my friend.
Is there a movie about that?
Yeah, there is.
Is it called The Battle of Britain?
It is called Battle of Britain.
Okay, well, there you go. Did you see the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I'm not a Tarantino person.
Oh, all right. Well, never mind. There's a scene in it where the Leonardo DiCaprio, who's playing a Hollywood actor at the time, he stars in some kind of World War II movie. And like he goes in and he says, "Anybody order fried sauerkraut?" And he starts inserting the German with the flamethrower. And I'm wondering, what movie is that based on? Because I know Tarantino knows his movies. I know that must have been taken from an older movie. And I keep thinking, was it like, is that supposed to be from When Eagles Dare or something, or the Dirty Dozen or something? I'm just wondering where that's what that's an homage to, And it's bugging me now because I'd like to actually watch the movie that was sort of referencing. It's all right if you don't like Tarantino, but I'll say that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think, might be my favorite Tarantino movie. It's a good love letter to the movies of like the late '60s that Hollywood was doing. It's interesting. Like westerns were still very big, and the DiCaprio character, he's a Western actor, right?
Yeah.
But like he's getting older, and like the Western is sort of, I mean, it's not out of sorts yet, but it's getting there. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, though, I think this would be neat to watch as a double feature with Dunkirk, right? Because wouldn't it be
It would.
like then you get to see what happened in the actual. I need to watch Dunkirk. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. You're right there.
Yeah, I was looking up something about Dunkirk.
Okay. I have to say, you know that show Picard?
I've heard about it. What's that about?
It's about Jean-Luc Picard as an old man. It's so bad. Okay.
Is it really about Jean-Luc Picard?
It's
Is that Jean-Luc Picard?
Apparently that, or it's an alternate universe version. I don't know. I don't care. It's a bad show. But anyway, there was a scene in it, right, where like this reporter is interviewing him, asking about the attempt to rescue Romulan refugees and about how it failed or whatever. And he said, I'm going to name you a historical reference point to that. And he says Dunkirk. And at that point, I wanted the reporter on the other side to say, Dunkirk? I saw that in a movie. I thought it was bullshit. I wanted her to say that. That's a paraphrase from a line on The Sopranos about the 13 Days movie when Paulie says, that Cuban Missile Crisis, we were this close to going the nuclear war. And then Christopher says, really? I saw the movie. I thought it was bullshit. And I think he was referring to 13 Days that had come out recently, right? What are they reading there, huh?
Dunkirk is an hour and 47 minutes. I was thinking it was longer than that. Okay. If you want to do Dunkirk in a couple weeks, we can.
Well, you said you're a big fan of that score. I'll let you pick the Memorial Day movie. It doesn't have to be that one. Like I said, I need to just sit down and watch it, just to watch it. But I know you'd mentioned 1917. I don't know. Think it could be any war movie. We should do something for Memorial Day, though. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could do Star Wars. I'm kidding, of course.
It's a war movie.
Yes, I know. There you go. Okay. We could do Atonement. Of course, I don't know if that's the right kind of movie for that.
We'd have Zootopia on for that.
Yeah, that's true. We could do Saving Private Ryan at some point, too. That's a John Williams score, right?
I saw that one time.
You didn't like it?
Is that the movie that you do? Does someone really enjoy Saving Private Ryan? Is that like saying, man, I just love Schindler's List. It's just like so awesome. You know?
I'm not going to say it was interesting. You didn't the Spielberg one, okay? The Storm of the Beach in Normandy at the beginning, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, it was interesting. It wasn't boring, I'll say that. I mean, I'm not saying it was.
It was.
I don't want to do the. I don't want to do the Saving Private Ryan virtual experience. So that has, in many ways, it has been recreated in several World War II video games where you get to storm the beach at Normandy. But which I was very awkward at the time when they were doing that, and I'm like, really? That was kind of a grisly event in human history. I don't know if it should be a game, but then I wondered if I was just being too much of a namby-pamby. I don't know.
I mean, for me, it was just so intense, and it had such a visceral effect on me. I'm like, I saw it once. I don't need to see it
We
again.
don't have to watch it. We don't have to watch it. Okay. We're not watching War Horse, though. That ain't happening. You hear what I said?
I'm sorry?
I don't care if you like War Horse. I'm not doing War Horse.
Okay. I haven't seen it, but I do have the soundtrack.
Okay. Well, enjoy the soundtrack. I'm sorry. I know there's some of the people in the chat might like War Horse. No. I don't want a sentimental World War I movie. See, 1917, that's a good World War I movie. Okay. That was, that's as terrifying and unpleasant as it should be. Okay.
We'll put 1917 on the docket for like maybe 3 weeks out.
If you want to do that for the Memorial Day one, we can. Yeah, sure. Okay. Whatever you feel like doing. I mean, it's not going to be on Memorial Day anyway, but I mean, I figure either going in or going after, you could figure it out if you want to do it. Yeah. See if anybody else wants to join us for that one. But from Lord Gort. Belgium has fallen. Is it like a sack of dominoes? Like they're all falling?
Yeah.
It's like, oh. What was it what Angelina Jolie directed? Was it Unbroken? Did you see that one?
Jolie directed a movie?
She did. It was a World War II movie. Actually, I'll say this. She has directing chops. She should do more directing.
Oh. And what do you think the movie was? You think it was?
I think it was called Unbroken. Yeah. I don't know. If you haven't seen it though, maybe we won't. We don't have to pick that one because if you have problem with Private Ryan, there's it's about an American soldier. It's a true story where how he survived in a Japanese camp. Okay, there's some unpleasant stuff in that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, Unbroken, 2014. I did not know she directed that.
Oh yeah, Glory would be a good one. What was the Union song? That was the Battle Hymn of the Republic, right? In Civil War. Okay, and for the Confederacy, it was Dixie, right?
Yes.
Okay. They're both really good songs, actually. If you've listened to them, I'm sure, right?
I know the words Battle Hymn of the Republic, but I won't sing it tonight, so do not worry.
No, it's okay.
That would be public domain, though, wouldn't it?
Of course it would.
Yeah.
No, there's not a copyright on that. Oh, I hope not. We have no choice but to at least consider the path of negotiation. He looks mortified, too.
Yeah.
Hitler ain't leaving England alone. I'm sorry.
And, if he hadn't been quite so paranoid and crazy, he probably it would have turned out a lot better for him.
I am going to say this. Wasn't there an assassination attempt on him? Were people planning it? Yeah, but wasn't Rommel involved like in a plot? Yeah. Because they knew this guy's not, he's not stable. He's going to...
and you hear people who don't know a damn thing talk like, well, there's always people around him with guns. Why didn't someone just shoot him? No. They have a holster. They don't have a gun in that holster.
Yes.
You couldn't hang out with Hitler and have your gun on you.
No.
Yeah. And the people who did have a gun around him were so loyal is not even the right word to use. Obsessed.
That's terrifying, but I'm sure it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't going to do anything to him. Melissa Harris has some suggestions for films.
Oh, Inglourious Basterds, Jarhead, Full Metal Jacket. Oh, Full Metal Jacket would be an interesting one.
Never saw Full Metal
You've
Jacket.
never seen Full Metal Jacket? Okay, well, at some point, do you know the score to that one? Who did the score to that one? I don't remember now.
Let me look it up.
Full Metal Jacket. I highly recommend you watch it someday. We don't have to do that one for the rewatch, but for more today. But that's a good one to watch. Jarhead might be in. Jarhead is interesting. That's a Desert Storm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know George Delarue did Platoon.
Oh, Platoon. What that'd be a good one. What Platoon?
I've never seen Platoon either.
For the what? Oh,
young when that movie came out.
You gotta see Platoon. No, it's funny. Like, there's always this thing. Like, a lot of people, they'll go with Full Metal Jacket for the best Vietnam movie, but and that's true. That's a good one. But I love Platoon. I do love Platoon. That's another one I highly recommend. Platoon.
Stanley Kubrick's daughter did the film score for Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. But no, Platoon's a good one. Oh, yeah. You got to watch that someday. Okay. It's back when Oliver Stone made movies. Is he still making movies?
I don't think so.
Did he get kicked out? Was he too controversial or something?
Maybe he's just too busy doing drugs.
I don't know. He did some documentary or something, and I know in the thing I forgot, it was a documentary about some Eastern European states, like some war breaking out. He was like, "I'm a citizen of the world," he said. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Thomas Newman did Jarhead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jarhead might be a good one. Well, you can think about it. See, I pick on the 2010s, but there were some good movies that came out in the 2010s. This is one of them. Deepwater Horizon, that was a favorite of the last decade for me. I don't know if you've seen that one.
As far as Gump, do you consider that a war film?
It's about veterans.
Yeah. Samuel Proctor said Adolf had at least 3 assassination attempts on him.
Yeah, see, that makes sense to me. Look what she's doing. She's talking about who's she talking about? Her brother?
Yeah.
In this scene?
He was at Dunkirk.
You gotta imagine the weight on his shoulders at this moment, right?
And then let's also bring up the fact he was a manic depressive his entire life.
Really? Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's probably not. Mm-hmm.
Take that into consideration, because that comes with a lot of doubt.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I get moments of self-doubt every now and then, too.
And I just got to say, she is absolutely adorably beautiful.
Yes, I know. Nice-looking women are nice. Yeah, we like I said, she was Cinderella. You got to be pretty to be a Disney princess, right? Or at least back in those days, you did. I don't know, but yeah.
Dr. Strangelove, you like that film, Boomer?
Yeah, but that's who mentioned Dr. Strangelove?
Zootopia brought it up.
We could do it, but I don't know about for more. I mean, I'm sure there is. I mean, I know I think there's stuff that gets dropped in it. That's they always bring it up because it's a Kubrick movie. Yeah. I haven't seen it in ages, but it's an important movie. All Kubrick movies are worth watching at least once. fact, I would argue Kubrick is probably the best director ever.
Ever?
Yeah, I think so. He was a perfectionist. His movies cost a lot of money to make because he was perfectionist, not because it had like a lot of fancy effects. He would shoot a scene over and over again. He did The Shining. He did 2001. What was that one he did that was based on a period book? I actually got the Criterion edition of that, but I think I was very excited because I got Full Metal Jacket on Blu-ray for a fairly cheap price when it came out.
Zootopia, I have not seen Baby Driver, but I have a friend who keeps mentioning it to me. He's a pretty cool cat, so maybe I need to watch it. And Samuel Proctor takes it home tonight with the quote of the year from Age Boomer.
Yeah, nice looking women are nice. Yeah, well, you know what? It'll be on my tombstone, okay?
All right, this scene right here, I think this is the heart of the entire film.
I'll add to that comment. Nice looking women are nice to look at, okay? You can take that to the bank. I'm sorry.
Okay,
my darling.
This right here. This is the entire film right here.
Oh, well, that's where I got it when I said he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Now she's telling that to him. Yeah. Cliched much? That's what I would tell her in this dramatic scene.
She's referencing his lifelong depression. Everything you've gone through, all your doubt, all your hard times, has made you ready for this. Without that, you could not do what's in front of you. I think that is so profound, because what do we do nowadays? Like, oh, you're sad. Why are you sad? Oh, because your parents died. Here, take these drugs. You'll feel better. No. You should be sad.
No, look.
Deal with it. Get through it. It'll make you a better person. Don't just take a drug and get over it.
Yeah, she's talking to her husband, and actually listening to him. Okay, it's just
that's a wife right there. That is a wife, and yes. That is a husband.
Did he have children? Did the two of them have
lots of children? Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. Okay. All right. So here's the king.
And he's not acting very kingly here. He's just like, hey, let's chat.
Yeah. Or cabinet is drafting a letter to Mussolini. Oh man. Thinking of this now. Mussolini's going to be the guy brokering the talks.
Good point.
No. The Italians didn't like him in the end. I think they hung him up, didn't they?
Yeah. The servant with piano wire hung him from a
he's done. He's done. Oh. Norway. Yeah, on Atlantic Crossing, you get to see what happened with Norway. It's interesting.
How would you feel at that moment if you were him?
How would I feel?
Yeah.
Think about where he's sitting. He doesn't, you're one country versus this huge war, these huge enemies, okay? I don't know. But he makes a good statement, I think, coming up here, right? About
countries that surrender never come back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I think he's right there. I like the king here. He's saying anyone that can strike the fear into the heart of the Fuhrer
Yeah.
is someone I can trust. Okay. In certain matters, very few people with whom I can talk frankly. Okay. Yes. Perhaps now we have each other. We can talk frankly to each other, right?
That's very touching. Oh yeah, Patton.
I like
forgot about
this,
Patton.
and look. Oh yeah, Patton. That may be a good one. But I'm gonna say this. Think about it. You know, here we are. You know, it's probably one of the most important meetings in English history, and it's happening in that kind of dingy room, right? between the Churchill and the King. Oh,
Have you been to the United Kingdom, Boomer? Did Boomer drop out? He did drop out. Okay. Well, I'm by myself now, so now I know how Churchill felt. Not really. It's a lot easier than what he had to go through. Sure, Boomer will be back in a moment. There's a lack of movies about Eisenhower and George Marshall. Yeah. I don't think there's a good film about Bernard Montgomery either. He had a very interesting life. He defeated Rommel in the desert, which no one thought could happen. And he's like number two man in for the invasion of France. Eisenhower would be number one. I love the piano here. Here's Boomer. Add to stream. Hey, welcome back, Boomer.
hey, it's my end,
Okay.
my internet. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey,
Crap.
Boomer.
Okay, good.
I can hear you.
Sorry, no, that's not you. It's me.
Do you live in Scotland, Matthew Flynn, or do you live in Ireland? Or you live in Wales? And Mr. Alistair, we all need to brush up on our world history.
Yes.
Because they don't teach it in school.
We do. I was lucky in that in high school I had two very good history teachers, two very enthusiastic men who loved history and made it entertaining for us to learn. And you know, I did learn a lot about history from them.
I don't think I ever had a good history teacher in high school. I had some good ones in college.
Yeah, college was the opposite. I had a bad one in college, you know, but that happens. But I had two good history teachers. One was a world history teacher. The other was an American history teacher. I like this, though. What is Churchill going to do? He's going to talk to the people, right?
Yeah.
I love this. So this is the underground. They know who he is. They're like, what? It's
And they say that this scene was completely made up, but Winston Churchill did just kind of disappear from time to time and go out and talk to people.
Okay, fine, it's made up, but I'd like to think this could have happened, right? Come on. I like this scene. He's like looking. Now he's getting up. I'll just sit here. Here we go. What should England do? Yeah, okay. Look, they're almost.
I don't think you can smoke on subways anymore, can you? Boomer? Okay, I think Boomer has dropped out again. So as I was saying, they said this scene was completely made up, but Churchill did from time to time sneak out and chit chat with people. I do think this scene does a nice job of conveying the more human aspect of Churchill. Like I said at the start of the show, so, like all the other films I've seen about Churchill, they just make him into such a cartoon character. And I think this film does a fine job of conveying the person that he was. He was a very complicated man. He had a lot of people who did not like him, but he was very driven. He wrote a crap ton of books. He was very, very educated. Incredible orator, probably the finest orator, definitely in the last century, if not the last two. Oh, what would the world be like if he hadn't been there to do the job? And I wonder why there's no music in this scene. I would have enjoyed some music in this scene. I think it's the only thing I probably would have changed about this. I would have added something here. Probably just low strings. I would have left the piano out, but I definitely would have put some strings in here. Alistair, I do not own it on vinyl. It is not available on vinyl, only CD and digital download. I do have it on CD. If it was on vinyl, I would buy it. Speaking about vinyl, the relationship to a vinyl score or a vinyl album for that case, it's like I had Lincoln on CD. I listened to like 2 times. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I put it in the library. I got it on LP and I put it on and I'm like, it's different. It more intimate, I guess. It has a different feel to it. And I've discovered some things I just prefer on vinyl, which is why I don't know if you're going to talk about 1917. I just ordered it on vinyl, and I'm going to give it another go on vinyl. Maybe it'll be a different experience, and maybe it'll speak to me this time. But when I listened to it the first time, I was kind of like, okay, okay. But I'm hoping this go around, it's got the punch that everyone talks about. I haven't felt it on CD. Maybe I will feel it on vinyl. We'll find out. And different, better, just different. Is vinyl different or better? You've kissed a girl before, I'm sure, right? Yeah, we've all kissed a girl. Most of us have. But then you kiss the girl. Is it different or is it better or is it both? It's both. That's yeah. So yeah, it's the right album on vinyl is the PDX Baggage Claim on an afternoon in May. It's the best way I can describe it. The most romantic way, the most honest way, the best way. Yeah, a vinyl's PDX Baggage Claim on a May afternoon. That's all I got for that. And Age Boomer's back, so I don't have to prattle on about crazy things. Add to stream.
Sorry, guess I'm the one with the
Boomer?
internet trouble this. I guess I'm the one with the internet trouble this week.
That's okay. It happens to all of us.
Oh, okay. I restarted the Mac this time, so hopefully that kicks it back on. I don't know. Once in a while, this happens.
I'm just glad AT&T and Verizon are both cooperating tonight.
Yeah, well, like I said, usually, right, he's running. Okay, but the whole point is that what I like about that last scene we saw is that there are people in the government that don't have the will, but what about the people? Do you understand? The people we're representing, okay? That were, will they have the will to fight off the fight off Hitler and Mussolini and the like, and they say yeah.
It also does a nice job of conveying the fact that he can connect to just an average citizen.
I think that's very important in a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extremely.
They say that's what FDR was able to do.
Yeah.
They said when they were bringing the funeral cart around with the FDR's body, the man saw it and he broke down crying. And they said, "Did you know the president?" And he said, "No, but he knew me." Do you understand? Yeah. That's how he felt. Okay.
But so many people felt like they knew FDR because of all the fireside chats and all the speeches and all the talks that he gave.
And then there are other presidents we feel we don't know at all.
Yeah.
Or we don't want to know.
Yeah, people ask me like, do you like Trump? And I'm like, I like him. How do I want to hang out with him? No, I don't want to hang out with him. Do I want him as a neighbor? Fuck no, I don't. Do I think he does the job that he was hired to do? Yeah, I think he does it well. So
they made a point that he knew how to talk because he was a businessman, so he would talk to people at all levels. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna say, well, people loved him when he had the television show, and then he decided to run for president. That's when, oh, yikes. Okay.
Like George W. Bush, I think I could hang out with him and be okay.
Right.
His father, probably not so much. Reagan, I think I could hang out with Reagan and have a good time with Reagan.
I'd like to think I could at least be civil to any elected official in any party. I don't know. Well, not some of them out there, obviously, these days, but at least. I mean, I don't know. We have a good governor down here. I'll say that. Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut. We probably don't want to get too bogged down in that tonight. Okay. We try to make peace now. We should get better terms than if we fought it out. Okay. I understand the logic there, but I think they don't. Do they understand how? It could be denial, too, of just how bad the situation is. Like how bad Hitler really is. I don't know. Am I allowed to say his name on YouTube?
I hope so, because we've been saying it all night.
We're not praising him. No one likes him. No one saying likes him, at least. Okay. He's a bad man. We fought a nasty war to take care of him. I'm just saying, okay. There's none of that sympathy with no. Some might benefit. I mean, the powerful might be able to parlay good terms.
This is historically accurate, though. He did talk to his outer cabinet and win them over before he won over the war cabinet.
Look, never. He's getting them mad. Right?
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking inverse. Did you ever see Wolf of Wall Street?
No,
Okay, I don't know if you'd like it or not, but there's a scene
that's
in that.
a Scorsese film, right?
Yeah, it was a Scorsese film. It was
Okay.
interesting because it was about instead of a gangster, it was about a white collar criminal this time around. And DiCaprio plays the guy. Basically, there's a lot of fraud going on with selling of, I guess, penny stocks or whatever he was doing, right?
Yeah.
And I think basically the investigators, they give him a deal. You just have to step down from running your company and we won't be pressing charges, okay? And he was already horribly wealthy at this point, right? Okay. And then he gets up to give his farewell speech, and you know what he says? No, I'm not leaving. And I'm like, and like it's like a rallying thing, and I'm thinking, yeah, this guy's already a criminal, and they're gonna let him off anyway, just because I guess it's too complicated. Basically, it's like just stop doing what you're doing, and we'll just let it go. Okay, that you did it up to now, okay? Because he was just horrible. I can't even. I don't know. My brain's gonna hurt if I try to explain what he was doing in that movie. But it was I enjoyed that movie a lot. Some people don't like it though, but because it's about some fairly disgusting people. Right? Margot Robbie's in it, yeah. And I know what you're thinking. It's got Margot Robbie in it, and she's even nude in a scene, okay? But everything about the movie feels sleazy, okay? Do you understand?
Well, just for the record, I normally don't like blondes, so.
Yeah, but even her character's annoying in it. Okay, that's his wife. Okay, she ends up marrying him, and it's just terrible. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen, I believe I'm due to address Parliament. Okay, and I've yet to write a word of my speech. Just speak off the cuff. So he was one of your five heroes, though, when you were on the Professor Geek Comp podcast, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a picture of him from his younger days on my bedroom wall.
Mine was Robin Hood. I had Robin Hood as one of mine, and I would argue Robin Hood did exist. I think he did. I know there's back and forth on that, but I think he really did exist. There's documented accounts of him written at the time. Okay.
I'll say this about Clemmy and Winston. They both came from bad homes with bad parents and bad examples of what marriage was.
It can happen.
They were completely devoted to each other, and they loved and adored each other very much.
Well, that's what you need for a marriage, right?
Yeah, you do. And this is one of his most famous speeches. Like one of the biggest mic drops in history.
Yeah, it's a guarantee until it's not a guarantee, right? Though.
Yeah. To do it alone, if necessary.
Mm-hmm. Well, fortunately, they weren't alone, but yeah. If that had to be, they had to go alone, they were going to go alone. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. Have you heard the actual speech? This speech?
Yeah.
Fight on the beaches. Fight on landing grounds. I need to watch the Battle of Britain now. Hey, does that have a good score? We could do the Battle of Britain.
I don't remember.
Okay, I don't know. Well, I don't know then. Yeah. Empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet. Carry on the struggle. Okay. It's interesting though. Even after the war, though, England was still struggling, though, right? Even after the war was won.
Yeah.
There was a scene. I forgot what it was called. Was it The Last Viceroy? I don't know if you saw that movie. Gillian Anderson was in it. That was the title of it. Yeah, it was like about the last Viceroy of India, and it was It was like when they were transitioning, I guess, to India getting the independence, and also brokering the line between Pakistan and India and all that. And I remember when the British official was over there with his wife, and they got served cooked chicken, right? And they were shocked. They're like, well, I guess chicken in England was a rarity at that point because it was after the war, right? So they were shocked they could just get it like that, you know.
I know there were meat rations during the war.
Yeah, yeah.
And sugar rations.
Mm-hmm. Guess Matthew Flynn probably knows more about that than we do, though. Okay. Well, Agent Boomer has a lot to say. Yeah, well, hopefully the lot to say stuff was was not me talking nonsense, because I'm trying to think of important people's names and I can't remember them. But one of my heroes is Beowulf. I loved Beowulf, reading that in senior English. That's a great. Have you ever read Beowulf? I'm sure you must have, Daniel.
It's been a while.
At some point. You probably read that. It's like basic English literature. But yeah, no, that's a great story. I think Tolkien was influenced a lot by that too. And I think he even did a translation of Beowulf. Then there was that weird CG movie they did, right? Okay, success is not final. Oh, I didn't get to read the rest of the quote.
Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Hey, you know what? And courage is difficult. Summing up courage. I mean, you know, it's... If you think you can't win, you know, it's... I don't know what they were thinking back then, because it's...
Well, I'll say
it's easy for us to stay here and says, oh, why didn't they all go along? And, you know, why were they... But we weren't there, you know? And I will say this. It's easy to... I'm glad they had the right man as the prime minister at that time, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this about that quote from Churchill, as someone who's dealt with depression his entire life as well.
Right.
The courage to continue sometimes is so daunting, and you're there alone with your thoughts and the demons, and you think about, today's just today, I'm just going to end everything. Just fuck it. I'm done with it. It's over. But somehow, somewhere, you find the courage to not do it. And I that's foreign to people who haven't been there, but you have to find the courage to not do it, and you have to find the courage to go another day. And what I'm sure what Churchill dealt with in those situations got him through this situation.
Because he knew how to deal with that, I guess, despair, right? Yeah.
When you're staring down your own personal annihilation at your own hands,
right,
and you find the courage to not do it, that carries you through a lot. And I think that's what carried him through this. I don't think he could have done it without that. And the long roundabout story there is sometimes a curse is a blessing because you can learn from it. It still sucks and it's still a curse, but you can learn from it and you can grow stronger from it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's one thing why I've always liked Churchill, because I know he had such a hard time with his own mind and his own thoughts and his own feelings. And he succeeded, and he's right. Failure is not permanent. It's not the end. You have to find the courage, and you have to go on, regardless of the odds.
Yeah.
So God bless him for that.
Yeah, no, like I said, he was one of the many important men of this time. Where if he wasn't there, who knows what would we be dealing with right now? That war could have gone very differently. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, no, good movie. I highly recommend Darkest Hour if any of you haven't seen it. It's a good it's a good World War II movie where you're basically seeing what's going on behind the scenes, right? And this is actually on the precipice. Like, it hasn't broken out yet, right? This is like on the.
Well, I mean, it's broken out, and
I guess it has. I guess as soon as the Hitler's armies were marching, then it's starting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like the official start was what, when like Hitler invaded Poland. That's when they kind of say it officially started. But I mean, it really started before that.
Yeah.
When he annexed the Rhineland, that's kind of really the start.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you haven't watched the movie, watch the movie. And if you haven't listened to Film Score, it's like an hour long. You can find it on YouTube, very easy. Listen to it. Wonderful score. The piano work on it is beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes scores just having a piano scores can work wonders. There's a Hammer horror movie I love, and they're called I think it's called Kiss of the Vampire, I think it's called, and there's a vampire. Whoever wrote the score wrote a vampire rhapsody, and it's mostly piano, and it's creepy to hear, but it's a piano. It's a piano rhapsody. It's kind of neat.
Was it Philip Glass?
Who?
Boomer?
Oh, for the Hammer score?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That would be too long ago for Philip Glass.
No, okay. That would have been back in the Actually, I wonder if I could find out who did write that. But I have a suite for it on one of my Hammer CDs. But yeah, that was back in the 60s. See, like I said, I know you say you don't like the 60s, but you're looking at we tend to now, especially if you're of certain political persuasions, look at a lot of the bad stuff in the 60s. But there was a lot of cool stuff in the 60s too.
There was,
especially coming out of Europe. Europe was really going through. I think Europe might have been more fun at that point in history than the United States. You had England had all these cool. In fact, actually, I will say this. My favorite horror period is the Gothic period of horror movies, or one of my favorite horror periods, the Gothic period, and that was when Italy, United States, and Italy were all kind of churning them out at the same time, and we were doing all those Poe movies, and England was kind of redoing the Universal horror monsters, and Italy was kind of doing its own thing too. But okay, but this actually, if you get the Blu-ray, or the DVD, it has has a little thing on Gary Oldman. They show the makeup, how they did the makeup. It's kind of neat. In fact, do you have a digital copy of this, Daniel?
Yeah, it came with the DVD.
Oh, you got the DVD. Okay, so you even have the DVD. Yeah.
Yep.
But they should include that special feature on there of how they did the makeup. It's kind of neat to look at.
Yeah, and you can also find it on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah. So next week we'll be doing another movie, right? What are we doing next week?
Do Wall-E next week.
Yes, we can do Wall-E next week.
Thomas Newman score.
Okay, cool.
Pixar film, cartoon.
All right, cool. I have never seen Wall-E, but it's on my to watch list. I'll have a little story to tell about Wall-E next week, actually.
Okay, I have one too.
About my frustration with the home video release of that. And actually, you know what? I'll say this. I think it's the last Disney Blu-ray I'm going to be buying for a long time. And I didn't even buy it. I got the Blu-ray with Disney points I had accumulated over time. And they had it on sale for like 800 points. And I had it. So I basically got it for free to replace my DVD. And I'll go on a DVD case tangent next week. I think Wall-E has probably the worst DVD case ever made for a DVD. And I will go on about it next week, okay?
Okay.
It'll be a rant. I don't like it when people get cute with DVD cases. Okay, but I'll be fine. See? I said don't be crotchety. Don't be crotchety. I'm getting crotchety now. Okay?
It's okay.
There's a reason I don't own Twin Peaks on DVD on Blu-ray, okay? I'm just...
Do you want Twin Peaks on Blu-ray?
No, because it comes in bad cases. I got the digital edition. I just got the digital edition. It's fine. I'm going to be fine. Stop, breathe, stop talking. Darkest Hour comes in a nice, simple double disc Blu-ray case or a regular DVD case. They don't try anything stupid. There you go. Another thing, nice thing I can say about Darkest Hour. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm fine.
We good? We good?
Yeah. I'm fine. Everybody have a good night. I've not seen I'm looking forward to it. Okay, cool.
Thank you, everyone, for coming by tonight. I hope you enjoyed the film and some of the historical perspectives and personal perspectives, Winston Churchill and whatnot, and age boomers' crappy internet connection tonight, as opposed to mine. Thank you, everyone, always for coming by. I appreciate it so much, either watching now or in the future. Always much appreciated. I'm flattered. Anyone wants to hear me talk about much of anything. So thank you all. Glad you had fun, Alistair. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. Adopt, don't shop. Keep listening to great film scores. And I promise I have got some reviews of soundtracks coming up here in the very near future. Hopefully this weekend I will get some filmed and uploaded. But until next time, we'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.